Son of a
Glitch.
The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Probably one of, if not the best entry in the Zelda franchise. It also has a lot of sweet glitches, so without further ado, let's get into it. Atop Death Mountain is a portal to the Dark World, and where you first become a helpless bunny. But venture down Death Mountain to the lowermost eastern area and using the magic mirror, return to the Light World and you'll be standing at the broken bridge. Now step 1 pixel to the right, any further forward and this glitch won't work. Because you're still standing inside the portal, you'll automatically return to the Dark World. Without moving, use the magic mirror once more, and when you arrive in the Light World, you'll see that the portal has moved to the right over the bridge. And so now, just move to the left and return to the Dark World where Bunny Link is now slightly more over the edge. Hold right and jump into the area below, and from here you can reach areas of the Dark World map you wouldn't be able to reach until later, such as Kakariko Village or the Skeleton Forest. The game sprites are partially glitched out, but return to normal when you switch between the Light and Dark World. Dropping into the Skullwoods dungeon and getting grabbed by the Wall Master turns you back into normal Link. Dying inside the dungeon and then leaving altogether means you remain as normal Link in the Dark World without having the Moon Pearl. You're now technically in the Light World, however the game is using the Dark World color palette and uses certain Dark World assets, so in Kakariko Village, Light World characters are going about their business with Dark World elements present on screen. This glitch is corrected when you enter a house and the Light World palette is restored. Once you obtain the Moon Pearl, you'll remain normal in the Dark World, but the Death Mountain glitch can be pulled off in the same way, and you'll be able to get some items earlier than usual, like the flute. Once you have the flute and awaken the Flute Boy's bird in Kakariko Village, there's a glitch that can be performed in the Japanese 1.0 version of the game. Get yourself a bottle containing a potion, and this glitch works by pressing the Y button to use the potion on the same frame that you enter a screen transition. This triggers the bird fast travel screen but in the Dark World, which isn't usually possible. Now simply pick a destination and you'll arrive there, but you'll be in the Light World while still technically in the Dark World. Now move one screen away from where you arrived and use the magic mirror. Now you're actually in the Dark World as indicated by the portal being present, but simply step into the portal and you'll be taken back to the Dark World. This is a neat trick to fast travel around the Dark World with the Flute Boy's bird, which isn't usually possible in the Dark World normally. Hitting the Y button on the transition is the tricky part, so try bumping against something like this rock to push you far enough to the side of the screen, and then tapping the direction you want to go and then timing the Y button just right should open the fast travel screen. You never use the potion if you fail the timing, so you can attempt this as many times as needed to bring up the travel screen, but once you're successful, the potion is gone. Let's look at some more of the glitches exclusive to the Japanese 1.0 version. Once you grab the Pegasus boots, you can perform this glitch called item dashing. By pressing the Y and the A button at the same time, Link will dash whilst using an item, such as the bow, boomerang, hammer or hookshot. The item will behave as normal during the dash. For example, these pegs are still hammered into the ground as Link dashes through them. In the case of the bow, when the dash is stopped, an arrow will fire. Items like bombs, the cape and the flute have no discernible effect on the glitch. The hookshot, however, has a very useful addition to this glitch called hook dashing. If you press the A and the Y button together with the hookshot equipped and then touch a ladder, Link will gain super speed. The super speed glitch puts you in a state of constant dashing but with a normal directional movement. This state cancels when hit by an enemy, jumping off ledges, or when transitioning from one area to another. Super speed can also be gained using a glitch called spin speed. Press and hold the B button to charge up the sword for a spin, and on the frame you release the spin, hit the A button. The best way to get this consistently is to slide your thumb from the B button directly to the A button on the frame that you release the spin. You'll know if you got it because you won't be able to use your sword when tapping the B button. Now simply touch some stairs or a ladder and Link will have super speed. To cancel this, press the A button to dash and you'll regain control of your sword and be back to normal speed. This next glitch is called Fake Flippers and again is exclusive to the Japanese 1.0 version. Fake Flippers lets you swim in water without actually having the Zora flippers. This glitch is triggered by jumping off a ledge into water and entering the screen transition at the same time. Here's a simple setup you can try at Lake Hylia by lining up with this bush, cutting it and then moving in an up and right direction. Tap the A button to perform a quick jump off the ledge, and once you hit the water, just hold right. Link will now be swimming in the water without actually having flippers. The game would usually put you back on land because you don't have the flippers, but the screen transition cancels that, enabling you to swim. If you get hit by an enemy in this state, the game will put you back on land, but it does so in such a way that as soon as you move, the screen will scroll infinitely, which means you have to reset as you won't be able to access the save and quit function. And you can of course use the whirlpools to warp to different locations. Ironically, you can also use the fake flippers glitch to get the real flippers early by using this whirlpool to warp to the Waterfall of Wishing and then going all the way up Zora's Waterfall to purchase the flippers for 500 rupees. There exists a secret room that can be accessed when the game enters an error state. To do this, you need the Pegasus boots, leading some to believe that speed is a factor in entering the room, but it's really Link's physical position when transitioning between screens that causes the game to enter this error state. The most consistent way to enter the room is by placing a bomb at the bottom of this screen and then letting it knock you backwards and then performing a dash in the lowest 2 pixels of the screen. Doing this causes the game to detect an error in the Y coordinate of Link's position, and when Link enters a cave or falls down a hole, he is instead sent to a debug room, which is known as the Chris Houlihan room in the North American version, or simply a top secret room everywhere else. The room contains 255 rupees, and leaving the room puts you outside Link's house, also correcting the error state. Moving on, in the Lost Woods there is a mushroom item that you can pick up in the Light World, but if you go to the Dark World and in Skeleton Forest go to this hole, stand on this exact spot and use the magic mirror, you'll pick up the mushroom in the Light World and the sprites will load incorrectly, leaving everything a little bit messed up. The portal to the Dark World will look like rocks and some of the trees are white, while some sprites are just completely scrambled. Also, you can return to the Dark World and repeat this glitch infinitely, recollecting the mushroom again and again, although this doesn't give you multiple mushrooms. Moving away from the area sometimes fixes the glitch, but the portal still looks like rocks. Once you have the Fire Shield and the Ether Medallion, find a picket that will steal your shield, and then freeze the enemy using the Ether. When you retrieve your red shield, it'll turn blue and will stay that way even after moving screens, but will return to normal once you enter a dungeon. In the Skullwoods dungeon, position yourself between these 2 bumpers and then rapidly bounce between them like this. Charge up your sword by pressing and holding the B button, and when the Wall Master drops, release the spin attack to kill it. Do this for a minute or so and then go through the door to the right, and you'll notice you can see more than one room loaded on screen, something that never happens in regular gameplay. What's happened is the game's camera has become dislodged, and this also puts most of the assets out of sync within the dungeon. Heading through the left door should give you one of 2 results depending on which bumper you bounced off first. The right side bumper will move the screen once as usual with the glitch still in effect, and the left bumper will scroll twice and you'll either get stuck or, if you're lucky, be able to pass through freely. By going through the door and then heading back through it, move over to the right side of the screen and go back towards the left side to scroll it over ever so slightly, and then going right once more will put Link on the other side of the wall, to which you can go through the door again. The screen will begin to scroll, and then in the next room climb the ladder and then keep holding down to jump out of the screen. When the new area loads, keep holding right and you'll pass through a number of screens and even through Ganon's tower. Also, there are some sprites that can only be seen like this that don't appear in the game usually, such as these skull sprites that were only in the beta version of the game. Being able to move across multiple screens like this is called the Exploration Glitch, and it can be used to finish the game in less than 3 minutes. At the beginning of a new game, go to Hyrule Castle as intended, and then once you enter this room, climb the ladder and then jump from the ledge. Whilst in midair, press select and save and quit. Now reopen the file and you'll be back where you got the sword, so head back into the castle and make sure you don't get hit by any enemies. Go up the ladder and then into this room and then get hit by the enemy and you'll no longer be visible, which activates the exploration glitch. Go into the wall on the left and then upwards until you reach this room and then go right along the wall. Then go up and keep going up until you pass Ganon twice and then into the room with the Triforce, and then you'll find you've finished the game. The reason this glitch works is that all inside rooms, caves and dungeons are connected on the same map that spans the entire game. Also, the game consists of upper and lower levels. When you jump from the ledge and then save and quit in midair, the game defaults Link to the lower level, placing you under the floor when hit by an enemy. This allows Link to pass through the walls and explore, enabling you to finish the game very quickly. Finishing the game this way has some effect on the ending. For instance, the rain sound will play through the entire sequence, and the nighttime palette will be used in some areas instead of the day palette, along with the rain effect, which is still going on during the credits, even though it's all broken up. So what happens after you open up the finished file after completing the game this way? You start the game in the Dark World as the bunny because you never collected the Moon Pearl, and the pyramid top is intact, but every enemy is screwed up and some are inside walls. Also, the rain is still going on too, it's all pretty messed up. The Game Boy Advance version of the game also has its share of glitches. In Kakariko Village, there's a long path through the middle that if you throw a boomerang to the right and then dash away from it to the left, the boomerang will infinitely shoot past the screen left to right. And if you perform this glitch with the magical boomerang, it'll cut down bushes and even start changing some of the sprite tiles as it shoots by. Up on Death Mountain, grabbing a green rock and jumping off the side of the mountain with it will cause it to disappear, and Link will go around carrying nothing. The trouble is, the game won't let you throw thin air, so you're stuck like this until you enter a cave or get hit by a boulder or an enemy. I don't know why, but I feel this scene is missing something. If you have the flippers and the flute, you can swim on land by standing next to some water and then using the flute to call the bird. Quickly get into the water on the frame that you get picked up and cancel the bird, then get back to land very quickly. If performed correctly, you'll now be able to swim on land, which is quite an amusing thing to see. This glitch is sadly cancelled when you're hit by an enemy. A similar glitch can be performed by calling the bird and then dashing as it picks you up, then cancelling out of the travel screen. Now any wall you walk into makes you bounce off it, so knock yourself into the water and then bounce yourself off these rocks into the whirlpool. When you reach the other side, Link will now be able to walk on water, so you can now explore the river on foot, which sadly doesn't go out that far. And finally, if you use the magic mirror as you jump off a ledge in the Thieves' Town dungeon, you can access the exploration glitch by dashing at this wall. Once you're invisible, head right into the next screen and then to the far right side of that room, and then start heading up until you reach this screen with the fairy fountain. Next, go right through this strange room and then you'll freeze. Now things will start to get really messed up. Check out those numbers at the top of the screen. Use the magic mirror to get back to the start of the Thieves' Town dungeon and you'll see this nightmare of epic proportions. The color palette is all kinds of screwy, and even heading outside to Kakariko Village doesn't fix anything. You'll also notice we've changed into Bunny Link 2 and our item menu is just nonsense now. Maybe we should go back to the light world. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's end this crazy nightmare. Okay, what's going on? We're still the bunny, and I know it's the light world, but geez, could we dim it down a shade? If you die as the bunny, you return as normal Link. Well, if this is normal. Maybe I should just save and quit. That'll fix things, right? Let's start the game up again. What could possibly go wrong? Okay, everything seems normal. What the hell is that? Now if I collect hearts, they actually hurt me. Why do I look like a walking rainbow? Why won't my dash work anymore? Why are the rupees going nuts? I think I've finally broken the game. Well, that was terrifying, but I hope you enjoyed this episode, guys, and there are some cool glitches you can go and have fun with. And if you like this episode, hit that like button, share it with everyone you know and love, but most importantly, please subscribe if you want to see more from the series.